Hello, 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 and welcome to My Empty Hands, a podcast about the martial arts, typically with a focus on Kempo, but all martial arts get some love around here. So, as always, I am Reggie Darden, and I'm excited for my guest today, Mr. Derek Wayne Johnson. And we are going to talk about his martial arts journey, and we're also going to geek out about some movie stuff, probably, because he is a filmmaker, and he's directed a number of things. In particular, or I should say, the item that I'm most familiar with, he directed a documentary called John G. Avildsen, King of the Underdogs, and it is a movie about the director of both Rocky, well, at least Rocky and Karate Kid. Really great documentary. So if you haven't seen it, you need to go and see it. But yeah, we're going to get into his journey and all the good things that he's doing. So I usually kick things off with just a little bit of my background. I train in multiple martial arts at this point. American Kempo being the primary one, but I also train in Hapkido, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and capoeira. I've also got some experience in boxing and in taekwondo. So I stay pretty busy. Like I've said recently, I'm the big man at the buffet. I can't eat just one, and I can't just have one dish. I gotta have a little bit of everything. So I'll just keep stuffing things in as as I get the time. But that's how I go. But we may get into more of my story as we go along. But going to turn it over to our guest here and ask how did the martial arts find you? Where did it all start? And we'll go from there.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. And I'm just sitting here wondering, how do you have the time to do so many flavors of the martial arts? That's quite impressive.
It's easy. I have no time.
There you
I
go.
have absolutely no time. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast too. So, uh,
Yeah, there you go. Just add on to it. Um, no, that's quite impressive. And for the audience, before we dive into, I guess, how I got started, you and I met briefly. We didn't. I don't think we actually met formally at a Bill Superfoot Wallace seminar, and you kind of network and Facebook friends and all that sort of thing. So that's kind of how you and I met, sort of. But I would say this is our first time actually meeting. So it's really cool to hear about all the martial arts that you're training in. Um, how did the martial arts find me? I'm of that generation where obviously Karate Kid, Bloodsport, The Last Dragon, all of that stuff. I was born in the 80s, and of course, growing up in the 90s, those movies were everywhere and they were everything to us. And so that's obviously what piqued my interest in the martial arts were the movies. Um, but I really wanted to train and learn, and I'm from a very small town in East Texas called Carthage, a town of about 6,000 people. There was only one karate school at the time, and I just never got a chance to take classes there. And so when I was 13, I caught a flyer on my desk at school, um, promoting this new karate school that was in town, and called the American Society of Karate. That's the larger umbrella. This particular school is the East Texas American Society of Karate. And caught the flyer, signed up, and that was almost 29 years ago, and I haven't stopped since. So it was just one of those things where I was inspired by the movies, and a flyer came across my desk, and it changed my entire life.
Very nice, very nice. Now, this was, I'm guessing this is like a freestyle karate school, or what is it?
The style is American karate. Now, when I say that, some people go, "What does that mean?" And Really, it's a branch of from Shotokan. So our founder, Mr. Bill Gray, who founded the American Society of Karate in 1970, he was in the army. He trained in Shotokan and started his school in 1970. In 1975, started working with Bill Superfoot Wallace, and they kind of together helped craft this. I don't want to give too much credit or too little credit, but I will say they worked together hand in hand, and it kind of helped this style come to be. But again, we can't take credit there for American Karate. That name, tons of people have sort of coined their style of karate as American Karate. Joe Corley started calling his style that years ago. What's his name? That Roger Trias. I can't remember his name. Basically, was the first American karate guy in the states. So there's no actual like federation or anything like that. So many people can claim American karate. So what I always say is it's a hybrid. It's traditional martial arts meets modern day martial arts, and but it comes from Shotokan, also some of the Okinawan styles. But circling back to Superfoot is it's very much part of the Superfoot system. So I have rank in both American Karate and the Superfoot system. I'm a fourth level in both, and they sort of go hand in hand. Um, anyway, that's kind of like my style. Obviously, there's different organizations, different schools that even I think oh, names escape me. I want to say Sensei Seth on YouTube. I
Hmm.
think he's American Karate. I could be wrong. You see it a lot in karate combat. When they say what's their karate style, it's American karate. So it is what it is. There's my long-winded answer of what style I started in.
No, no, I like that. It's uh, American Kempo is kind of in a similar boat, depending on kind of how you want to look at it. In that it is uh, it is in many circles it is called karate, but I guess if you want to split hairs, it's not technically karate, or at least in the Japanese sense. And listeners that have a problem with my explanation, that's okay. You can come find me. But yeah, it is a modern system, but it has its quote unquote traditional roots, and there's all kinds of mashups and evolutions and that sort of thing. So yeah, I get it, and that's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
Now,
by the way, I think I said Roger Trias earlier. I think it's Robert. And I don't even know if I'm saying his last name correctly, but just for the record, I think I said Roger, but I believe it's Robert. A
no
Google search could fix that.
no worries, no worries. People can
There's a
search it
lot
out.
of I have a lot of Kinpo friends. Daryl Vidal
Ah,
from
yes,
Karate
yes.
Kid is a friend of mine. Dan Sands from Art of One Dojo. There's quite a few, and it's interesting because American Kinpo. It again, you're adding the American aspect to it, and I think that is I think it helps kind of summarize our two different styles. It's like we're not saying it's for me, for example, it's Okinawan karate. It's not. Obviously, there's roots there. Um, but yeah, one time someone said, "How can it be American karate when karate is Okinawan?" And I said, "Well, okay, so that's like saying Shotokan can't be karate because it's Japanese, and so on and so on. Korean karate, et cetera, et cetera." So a lot of silliness out there. I'm sure you are aware of with people, the keyboard commandos. But hey, I've been training in this style almost 30 years, so uh, you know I believe in it.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely that exists in all the different arts. Definitely in the Kempo world. Ed Parker fought with that, and when he decided that he was going to call the system American Kempo, he got a lot of pushback from his peers, and that no, it needs to be Polynesian Kempo, or it needs to be Hawaiian, or this and that and this. And he's like, I'm an American, and this is an American art. So, yeah, there's always going to be those fighting of, oh, this name or that name, and at the end of the day, it's like, let's just get the art out there, and it doesn't matter what we call it, or anything like that. So that's fine. So now, so with this the American karate, with the Superfoot system, where was that? So that they're completely separate, or how did you get involved with the Superfoot system?
So they are separate, but sort of similar in the sense that so the American Society of Karate founder, Mr. Bill Gray, is best friends with Bill Superfoot Wallace. They've trained together for 50 years since 1975, and Superfoot was instrumental in helping Mr. Gray's school get off the ground. Now, my immediate instructor, Mr. Robert Lamont, passed away this past January in 2025, and he got his belt under Mr. Gray. So Bill Gray, Robert Lamont. Bill Wallace, uh, since we are a Superfoot System school, the American Society of Karate, is also kind of a branch of our school, if that makes sense. So I first met Superfoot when I was 19, and years go by, and then I become a part of the Superfoot system, holding rank there. And when I earned my fourth degree in American karate, I did not test for my fourth degree in the Superfoot system because Mr. Lamont passed away, and we just didn't do the other part of the test. So um, I asked, Mr. Wallace, hey, Mr. Lamont has passed away. I have, a third level rank in Superfoot system. I've got my fourth level in American Karate. I'd like to test through you directly for my fourth level in Superfoot, kind of level out. And he said, absolutely. And, so this November, I went up to Indianapolis for Superfoot's 80th birthday bash and tested for my fourth level. And so now I've kind of evened out my belt ranks in two different styles. And, the Superfoot system is more leaning towards kickboxing. Obviously, it is karate and kickboxing. Whereas American karate is both as well, but does, we do kata, we do weapons, we do self defense, we do ground fighting, the whole array of karate, very much on sparring and the sport aspect. We always say the art, sport, and self defense aspects of karate. Whereas Superfoot system is more of the sport, is more kickboxing. So that's kind of how I differentiate. I almost feel like I have, that I'm a part of a style in one sense and then a system in the other sense. Because in the Superfoot system, there's so many different black belts from different styles, but we come together in this system, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes, yes. I like that. I like that. Yeah. So so now with the training, and we may kind of bounce around here. There's a lot of things I want to try and cover, but well, my mind's crazy that way, and we'll just roll with it. But but I'm curious. So did you get into the competing side of it at all?
Oh, yeah, I've been competing since I was 14. I started when I was 13, but a month and a half later, I turned 14, and that's when I started competing. And I haven't stopped. Again, it'll be 29 years in January. Basically a lot of in my earlier days, a lot of kata competition, a lot of weapons competition, but always sparring, point sparring, and then you get up in the ranks, and it's heavier sparring, not to the knockout, but heavy contact sparring, continuous sparring, et cetera, et cetera. So that aspect, I never went like I've done some full contact. I even did some boxing and won my first excuse me, my first match there by RSC, referee stops contest. I just hit the guy so many times in the first 30 seconds of the first round that he didn't throw a single punch. I think he was stunned from the get go. And I later asked the guy, I can't remember his name, wonderful guy, but just had no business, I don't think, being in the boxing ring. And I said, what happened? And he was like, man, I was out on my feet immediately. And that was cool because, and also found out he was a brown belt in karate. I don't remember which style. I was a black belt at the time. So, boxing, kickboxing with the Superfoot system, full contact karate, you name it, point karate, all of that. And, you know, it's funny because when like karate combat comes around and all these kinds of things, obviously UFC's been around, but it's like, man, I'm one of those old guys now that's like, if that would have been come out 10 years prior, I would have signed up. And it's who knows. But I didn't choose the professional, prize fighting route in life, but the training is always there. And I take a lot of pride in that because, as Bill Superfoot Wallace always says, there's life after sport. So you got to think of those things, and I hope all these young guys that are going to the knockout are saving their money and saving some of their brain cells, hopefully, because they will retire one day, and you got to keep moving.
Oh yeah, for sure. You have to have a backup plan for after the fighting and after the competing and all of that stuff. You gotta have something for the old age home and all of that. So yeah, it's pretty crazy and yeah, I totally get it. When you're young, you think you're invincible and you think you can do everything, and nobody tells you kind of how downhill stuff goes when you when you start getting old. There's so many things now that I'm realizing that just was never told that oh, my back's gonna hurt all the time, my knees are gonna hurt, and I didn't even, I mean, I when I started martial arts, I was in a handful of tournaments. I got disqualified in every one of them, and just to think about full contact stuff now is a little scary to me. Although I have been so one of my previous guests is Shihan Shihan Duvall Hamilton, who is a Kyokushin practitioner, and I had him on before, and as we're recording, I had another episode with him where he was talking about the 100-man and 50-man kumite, and it's I mean, it's mind blowing to me to think about fighting 50 people or 100 people, but a little part of me is kind of is kind of intrigued, and I don't know. I've still got some more thinking about it and everything, but and
Well,
of
two
course it would
things.
take a lot of training. But one of his students, I guess, semi recently did a 50-man. Yeah, it was a 50-man, and he's in his. I believe he's in his mid 50s. So it's still, I'm considerably younger, so there's still potential to make that happen. So we'll see.
Well, I got two things. One, um, have you heard of Judd Reed?
Yes,
Kyoto.
yeah. He was the one that mentioned that
Yeah. Oh
mentioned
yeah,
him.
and the 100 Man documentary that it's fascinating. That is one bad dude. The second thing is You mentioned you got disqualified. I have to hear at least one story.
Well, unfortunately, it's not super exciting. Mainly, it's so in Kempo schools, we're much more closer to full contact, I guess you could say, and in that we allow head contact and groin shots and things like that. And a lot of the tournaments that I would go to were kind of open tournaments, and uh, still kind of baffling to me that at a lot of these open tournaments, head contact and face contact were not allowed, and so I'm used to the old back knuckle reverse punch and the move we call the California Blitz and that sort of thing, and so I would just kind of use you fight how you train, and I'm used to throwing those head back knuckles and. I would throw them, and I'd get the warning, and it's like, oh well, this is a combat art. Why can I not hit him in the head? And just muscle memory or whatever would take over, and I would just throw that back knuckle, and so I would get disqualified at these open tournaments and stuff. So uh, yeah, it was just kind of how it goes, and uh, you know. I guess I had to calm down and try and focus, but I just wanted to hit people. So
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe they wouldn't allow that. That's baffling as to me as well. Yeah, that's a shame.
yeah,
But
uh,
thank you for sharing that with me. I was dying to hear a story
yeah.
there.
Especially considering that we had all the gear on the foot and head and hand protection and mouth guards and all that stuff like that, and it's just and we're martial artists. We're supposed to be controlled, and I have good control. I believe. I don't think I've ever been uh, uh, called out for excessive contact or anything like that. But they just didn't like those headshots, and it's like, well, maybe I should pick a different sport, pick a different activity if you're not willing to get a little love tap in the head. So 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 all in the competition side. So we got the forms, we got the fighting. Any weapons competition or any other kind of divisions, or were those the two?
No, it was. Gosh, I've done. I'll say this: I've done it all in these 3 decades, and and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I still do it. I still like to compete. Um, and this year, I've done 2 tournaments this year. I was going to do a third one. Usually, I try to do like 4 a year at least. That's what I grew up doing, so I try to keep that momentum. But also part of that is just I'm not. I have to travel a lot to go to a tournament these days, so I try for 4 a year. The older I get, the more. This sounds weird, but I actually have more of a competitive drive now. Before Mr. Lamont passed away, as I was saying, my immediate instructor of all these years, he would tell me, he would say, you're at the age now. I'm 42 now, but he probably said this when I was like 40. It's like you're at the age now where you have all of the tools necessary, you've got all the wisdom necessary, and you still have the physicality necessary to, he said basically what you said earlier. You're going to feel more achy, but you're a better fighter now than you were 20 years ago. And I believe that. I mean, I really do. I think old man strength is real. We grew up hearing that. But it's true. I'm a better fighter now than I was. I'm not in as good of shape as I was when I was 20 something, who is, but you're just not, the wisdom isn't there in your 20s. The physicality is. So I really love competing, and I really love competing in the younger divisions, the 20 somethings and the 30 somethings, because they give more competition. If I'm fighting Usually in the 40 somethings and up, maybe not so much, and that's just how it is. But so I usually get stuck with the 20 somethings and the 30 somethings, and I absolutely love that. Now, one day, maybe that'll change. But for now, I just feel like I don't want to say I'm in my prime. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm in that midway point to where I know age is going to take all of us downhill. But, as long as we're still going, still staying active, and then of course when we get to that age, passing our knowledge down, that's the goal. So I look back at some of my competition footage and stuff from years ago, and I'm like, man, that kid was in shape. But if I knew then what I knew now, as you know, you grow up hearing, there's so much truth in that. Um, and so I just find that the martial arts, in particular the competition side, it's a drive that I can't turn it off, and I don't think I ever will. And I love, love, love seeing when senior citizens are out there competing. I think that's fantastic because what they're telling us younger folk is like, hey, don't stop. This is a way of life. It's, you know, and think about it. Um, and all due respect to other athletes and sports, but football players, they have to retire. Baseball players, they have to retire. Basketball, et cetera, et cetera. We don't. Obviously, if you're a professional prize fighter, that's different. But martial artists, we can compete until we die, and that's the goal.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, recently was a Billy Blanks, just killed it at a competition, and let's see, memories is serving me. I guess he just turned 70 or something like
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, it's a lifelong thing. And then, of course, I'm gonna turn on the Ass Kiss Rodeo. I mean, Mr. Superfoot Wallace. Uh, I mean, I'm just still in awe. I mean, like you mentioned, we were at the seminar, and just he's got the moves. You hear about people like him, and you go, that's great. He's doing his thing, but when you see it live, and you get to experience. I'm a proud member of the club. I've been kicked, punched, and choked by Mr. Wallace, so I feel quite honored. But yeah, just to see him, I mean, he still breaks out full splits. He's still kicking in the head, and I mean, and not like uh, I don't, not to be mean or anything, but the he's not old man good. He's just good, and it's really impressive, and just a testament to, if you keep going, then you if you don't stop, you won't lose all of that ability, and good stuff there. So yeah, and just also, like you said, yeah, the martial arts, it's a lifetime thing, and it's not like a sport with like football or basketball or something where you have to retire. No, you can keep going till that final bell, and final ring there. So yeah, so hopefully I can hopefully I can do some editing. Apparently my dog is going crazy, so listener, sorry, but that's how it goes. But so the next, I want to make sure that we get to the movie stuff, but before we get to that, one of the things that I've been asking my guests as of lately is what it means to be a black belt. So with all these different styles, there isn't a standard for what it takes to earn a black belt, what it means to be a black belt. So I've been asking my guests in their opinion, what do you consider are things that maybe are requirements, or what is the thing that it takes to become a black belt or to earn a black belt, and what kind of what do you consider are things that make up a black belt?
Sure. So we always hear that saying that black belts are white belts that never quit, and love that saying. And the other one is black belt is just the beginning. We've all heard that stuff. And it's funny because we talked about it's a way of life, and we're not going to stop, and we need to pass down knowledge. But I do feel that there's a few things. One, you need to train, you need to compete, and you need to teach. Those are three things that I believe in. Obviously, as you get older, maybe you can't compete at all or as much. That's understandable. But train, compete, teach. Those are three foundations I think that a black belt should possess. Also, just how you carry yourself as a person. Like now that combat sports are so huge, not a lot of people hold rank. So it's just turned into a sport, which is fine. And there's some really great fighters. But some of them don't have what some of us have. It's that martial arts discipline and respect and honor, the code that we live by. Could they, just beat the crap out of you and me? Maybe. But I just feel like we live by a code that some of them don't. Now, some of them do. You take like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Lyoto Machida, people like this. Yes, they live by the code. They are true martial artists and, uh, sport fighters. So I feel like it's being a black belt. It's mastering a set of curriculum, but going beyond that curriculum. In other words, if just do understanding and mastering the moves you were taught, that's a big part of it. So you can pass that down. But also being a black belt is having an open mind and exploring other art forms, other sports, other ways to make these moves more effective. If we all, as black belts, didn't question what came before us, we would just live in this cycle where nothing's evolving and getting better. So I am a believer in if it's not broken, don't fix it. But at the same time, you still need to look for ways to challenge yourself and the art form of which you are practicing. So I would never, but there's also a time and place. So like I would never, hold my hand up in class and argue with my instructor. I would do so maybe after class in private, and it wouldn't even be an argument. It would just be like, well, what about this, this, and this? But in class, what I would do instead of arguing about something that I didn't think was correct, I would just show them what I think is correct. Let them decide if how I've taken a technique or a combo or whatever and evolved it or learned from another style or another martial artist and see if they respond to it. And usually they do. If they don't, they're just kind of stuck. Oh, well, I'm a black belt. Well, yeah, so am I. But I'm also willing to put a white belt on and go to a different art and learn from it and bring it back to the dojo. So I think that's a long-winded answer of what I feel a black belt is. You can't rest on your laurels, or you can, but I don't think you should. I think you should just stay humble and say, you know, maybe this is how we should do this, or maybe not do this anymore, or whatever, or just add to. Um, yeah, that's what I think a black belt is.
Very nice. Yeah, well said. I agree with that sentiment. A previous guest, we were speaking about this, and in that there should always be this thirst and hunger to keep learning, and I mean, it's like you said, you can get your black belt and then just kind of sit on the mountain and go, okay, yeah, I'm a black belt now, and I'm done. and that's in my opinion, that's it feels very odd to spend so much time and so much energy and literal blood, sweat, and tears to reach that accomplishment, and then to stop. And it's been said before. It's like getting to getting your black belt and stopping is like learning to drive and then getting your driver's license and then you don't drive. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I get that life gets in the way and there's all kinds of different things that reasons for it, but it feels very weird to me that you would put so much work into something and then just be like, okay, I'm done. So, but everybody has their journey. I know for me, I don't intend to stop. I'll stop 10 minutes after I'm dead, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, I like what you're saying there. And so I want to, of course, get into the movie stuff. There's one other thing I want to cover, and you kind of mentioned it. So the teaching side, have you do you do any teaching, and if so, when did that start, and were you was it something that you were always interested in, or like many a guest, was it thrust upon you and you had to kind of go from there?
Well, so I'm going to start my own school. That's been established internally. I've gotten the blessing of my late instructor, well beyond he became ill, but also literally on his deathbed. So I'll always hold that blessing dear to my heart. His widow as well. I've gotten her blessing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not continue their school. As a matter of fact, unfortunately, that it's been closed down. She just can't do it without him, and that's understandable. That school he ran for over 30 years. But I also got the blessing of our founder as well. So I have all of the necessary blessings, including Bill Wallace's blessing, you name it. So with that said, I'm developing my own school, and I haven't announced when I'm going to open yet. Still working all of that out. But in these 30 years, have I taught? So when I got my black belt, obviously, I assist with classes and things like that, and all the requirements to get the black belt. But then I would teach private lessons, and I did that for years. I never had my own school. I would also do demos and things like that. And when within my school that I grew up in, the East Texas American Society of Karate and the American Society of Karate, I assist as a black belt and teach in different areas. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm not a school owner, but I am a teacher. But I will become a school owner soon. So it is important to me. It's always been a dream of mine. And I decided, I'll put it this way, I'm around the age now that my instructor was when I started with him. And so, and he had we had a good 28-year run together. Maybe I can do the same. Maybe I'll live longer, maybe shorter. I don't know. But it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I have enough teaching experience and enough blessings, even from our sister schools and those school owners, to do it. So everyone's saying do it. So I'm going to do it. Now I'm excited, and we'll see how it goes.
Very nice, very nice. I like that, and I'm rooting for you, and I can't wait to see those doors open and see you spread this art out to all those that are interested in getting involved. So be looking forward to that.
Thank you. And you'll have to come visit.
For sure. All right, so we are going to we'll try and contain it, but yes, we have to talk about the directing, the movie side of it. I have not yet watched the Rocky documentary that you've done, but it is on my list to check out. But I did see King of the Underdogs and enjoyed that quite immensely. So could go ahead and just kind of talk a little bit about how that got started.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I've always wanted to be a filmmaker since I was like 3 years old, and started making films in high school, and then went to film school, and moved out to Hollywood and did that whole scene. But how specifically King of the Underdogs came about was I'm a huge John Avildsen fan. He made my two favorite films, Rocky and the Karate Kid, and sequels. And so I tracked him down, and we became friends, and you know, pitched him some scripts that he turned me down, and then I said, "Well, why don't I make a movie about you, a documentary?" He was like, "You're in." So uh, took us about 3 years to get King of the Underdogs from the first day of rolling footage to distribution. It was quite an undertaking, and it was just amazing. It opened a lot of doors for me. I got to meet all my childhood heroes, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them, befriend them, work with them, and that branched out into other documentaries like 40 Years of Rocky, The Birth of a Classic, Stallone, Frank, that is, you name it. I did kind of this run of like these Stallone, Rocky, Karate Kid, Avildsen kind of films, and anytime Stallone calls, I don't say no. I'll put it that way. So he and I've done a
Oh,
few
for
together.
sure.
Yeah, I think we've done like 5 projects together.
Oh, very
And
nice.
so, yeah, John was like my filmmaking mentor, if you will. And I just felt like, here's this guy that we all know his movies, but we don't know his name. And so I just wanted to highlight him. And then he unfortunately passed away about a month and a half before the movie came out. But he got to see it. He got to go to the world premiere, and he gave me hundreds of notes on the film, and he was very involved with it. So yeah, I think the world took to it pretty well. And then right after that, Cobra Kai came out, and his legacy right there, it speaks for itself. The Creed films, that legacy speaks for itself. So yeah, the great John Avildsen, the who I called the king of the underdog films.
Very nice. Now, I know with doing this show, I never expected some of the people that I've had a chance to speak with. Uh, Going to call out Daryl Vidal because I had him on the show. I think right before the final Cobra Kai season came out, and sorry, spoiler alerts, but he's in that season. If for those that may not have seen it, and I was asked, I think I asked him about Cobra Kai and what he thought about it, or if they had asked him to be in, and he was very hush hush, and I kind of had the feeling that he was in it. And sure enough, like I think a week after I put out the episode, the Cobra Kai came out, and it's like, oh, here's Daryl for that. I was like, darn it! Like I know you gotta, you probably signed something. You couldn't say anything, but I was just kind of shaking my fist at him, like, oh, well, you should have let me know. But
He's a great
so,
guy, by the
oh
way. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
Daryl.
he's fantastic, fantastic. But so doing the show, I've got to talk to a lot of people that I never would have expected. So for you getting to kind of work with, I don't know, you can idols, just these people that you've grown up seeing on the things, like did get a little starstruck or anything like that.
No, honestly, I don't really get starstruck, or at least I don't anymore. For me, it was more like it felt right. You know what I mean? It was like it felt like, okay, yeah, this makes sense to me. I should be here right now working with this person, right? And then you look back at it and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool that, I did that. I'm just this kid from Carthage, Texas, you know. So it does give a little bit of perspective, like, well, I worked really hard for that, but also, luck, I'm sure, can come into it. But no, never starstruck, just more like, yeah, like this feels right. I'm where I want to be and where I need to be. It's funny because, like, I guess because I'm a filmmaker and I'm in the film industry, I don't necessarily get starstruck by movie stars. But for me, because I'm not a musician, for me, it's like rock stars. That's where I'm like, oh my goodness. So anytime I've interviewed like a rock star, I guess I get starstruck, but that's because I'm not in their
Mhm.
industry.
Okay. Yeah, I
Um,
got you.
Even with like sometimes like the greatest fighters in the world that I've met, I'm like, man, I can't believe I met that person. Um, it's just really cool. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just really cool, and I'm very thankful and just grateful for this whole experience. And I mean, a lot of them just kind of took me in, and we did some good work together, and going to continue to do that. So, fingers crossed.
Very nice. So, is there a dream project that you have in mind that you'd like to make one day?
Yeah, there are. Like, I've never made just an actual martial arts film, and I want to do that one day. And then some sort of martial arts documentary. So hand in hand, I want to do something in both. Obviously, King of the Underdogs had Karate Kid. We detailed that pretty well. But I mean, like, a martial arts narrative feature film and then a martial arts documentary. Those are two dream projects that I definitely want to do. Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, no, I think we need we definitely need a good good kind of straight up martial arts film. Don't think we've really had kind of that. I don't know. I'm thinking like we haven't had a like a blood sport or a kickboxer or some non Van Damme movie uh, that just really kind of sings to the martial artist, and then yeah, real good martial arts doc. Um, do you think it would be something that would cover a particular system or a particular person, or maybe a little more generalized? Or
It's the idea for the documentary I have. I don't want to say it yet, but it would cover an era, a really interesting professional kickboxing era. There, I'll say that. So I'm winking at you through the microphone. That's kind of what I want to do is highlight an era. And then as far as a narrative feature film, I've got ideas because if you think about it, it's like the Bruce Lee films were very raw and I mean just hard nose, right? Then you got Karate Kid, very soft and beautiful. Then you got Bloodsport, which is just so cool. I think I listen to that soundtrack literally every day. And then you've got like there are some modern martial arts films, but like other than Jackie Chan and Jet Li and Ninja Turtles, like name one that stuck out. You can't. Now, there might be tons of fans going, "What are you talking about? This, and this." Yeah, okay, fine. But and I'm not saying like I'm the guy that's gonna make the next. You never know. I don't want to be delusional, but I would like to have some sort of martial arts film that you know takes it back a little bit. Maybe takes all those elements that we just talked about and puts it into uh, because it has to have a good story, whatever it is, and that's why the Karate Kid is so great because it's a beautiful story. And Bloodsport is more, mm, a preface to UFC. Let's just put it that way, to MMA. And then Bruce Lee films were just groundbreaking, right? So like you can't top any of that. But I think that's why a good story has to be at the center of it. But what that story is, like, what is it? You can't do the mentor teaching the kid again. Like, that's every movie and every ripoff. So finding that, like, that nugget of what the story should be, then we're off to the races. It's hard to do, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. To find that secret sauce that is going to capture the audience is, yeah, it's hard to get that lightning in the bottle, and uh, without it being, oh well, yeah, we did that in this movie, we did that in this movie, yeah. To find all those kind of right elements and right timing, and uh, I look at so many movies, and it's just iconic movies that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for just all these right pieces kind of coming together at that right time. So yeah, it's hard to plan that. So yeah, I get it. I get it. But well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully you will make that film that will capture everybody's attention, and really have that lasting effect. More, even if it's not comes out of the gate strong, but it has that element that just connects with the people. That's what we're really shooting for. So, um, so yeah, we are flying through time. There's a bunch of stuff that I want to get to. Like it is with kind of every guest, we could talk for hours and hours and hours, and we'll definitely have to do a part 2 and 3 and 4, and all that good stuff. But I'm trying to think if there is another. Well, I did. So before we got hit recording here, I saw you on another show, and there was some talk about the Rocky movies, and I want to put this out there, and people can come find me if they want. But I'm going to put it out there that Rocky 5 is not that bad. Is not as doesn't deserve all the hate it gets. I quite enjoy it, so I'm just going to put that out there. People can come find me if they want, but I quite enjoy that movie. Yes, it's not the greatest of the Rocky films, but I enjoy it. So I'm just I want to get it on record there that don't sleep on Rocky 5. It is an enjoyable film, and it's got a lot of good qualities. So
Yeah, and hey, I'm assuming we're around the same age. I'm 42.
I'm 40,
Um,
how old am I now? I'm 47. So
47. Okay, I thought you were younger than me, so you're in good shape. That movie came out like when we were kids, right? It's 1990. Like that's prime like Rocky for us, and so to me, it's like, yeah, Rocky one's the best, and we could keep going and pick it. And then Rocky Four is probably the most popular as far as like just watching it for the montages and stuff. But Rocky Five came out like when we were like, I was what, 7, and you were what, probably 12, I guess,
yeah,
if I'm
somewhere
doing my
around there.
math correctly. Perfect timing for us to watch that movie and dig it. And I think Tommy Morrison was just fantastic in that movie.
I
He was so
agree.
raw and real and full of rage, and yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with it, as you said, but to me, like Tommy Morrison just kind of makes that movie.
No, I agree. I agree. He did very well with that movie, and uh, there's people that give them crap and give the movie crap, but I say fooey to them. They're wrong. It's much better movie than I think it gets credit for. But so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So very nice, very nice. So all right, so we are going to go ahead and move into what I call my lightning round here. We've got a few questions to throw at you as we head towards wrapping up. So the first question is, do you have a favorite technique?
Sidekick.
Very nice, very nice. Yep. That.
Do you want the reasonings or just
Oh,
throw the answers?
yeah. Let's hear it.
Cool. So my fastest is my front roundhouse, but as you know, that's like the jab of the foot, right? Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But the hook kick, if it lands, it hurts pretty bad. But the side kick, you can get it out just as fast as the front roundhouse, except you're not popping them, you're literally stopping them. So I use it as a counter side kick usually, especially if a big guy's coming in on me. I'm gonna go for the gut and with a side kick. So that's my favorite. Um, yeah, I just love it.
Very nice. I like it. I like it. All right. Next question. Do you have a favorite form?
Ooh. So yes, in my style in American karate, we do a lot of the kind of the basic katas that most people do, but we call them H forms. So they're basically like what is it? The high end. I'm messing
Uh,
up the name.
gotcha. I know.
Shotokan,
I'm
things
familiar
like
with that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so those are H form number one is the first kata you learn in American karate. So when people say, "What's your favorite?" I have two answers to that. My best is H form number one because I've done that more than any kata ever. It's the first kata, right? So it better be the best. My favorite is probably a kata um, called Destiny. Cheesy name. But that kata was created by Mr. Bill Gray, the founder of American Society of Karate. And from what I understand, I think Bill Wallace may have helped him design it. And I could be wrong. I need to check on that. But it's a beautiful kata. And so it is original to our school and our style. But the reason why I like it is it has a linear motion to it as opposed to the H form, right?
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
So, and it's linear and it has some aerial techniques, but it's really teaches you how to go down the line and back down the line. Now, obviously, we know we should come off the line when we're fighting, as not to be predictable. But I think this kata is so beautiful because it does go up and down the line with some aerial techniques, and I really think it's just a beautiful kata, especially when it's executed well. So my best H form number one, it better be. I've done it the most, and Destiny is my favorite. I don't know if there's anything online. Maybe you could find it on YouTube. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I will hunt that down, and we'll talk about that maybe offline and see if we can hunt that down. But yeah, I like it. I like it. All right. Next question. Do you have a favorite weapon?
Oh, okay. Yes. Ugh. So naturally, nunchucks because they're fun. They're not practical, but they are my favorite. I do believe in the hand-eye coordination that comes from it. And then one would say the most practical probably is the bow because you can pick up a stick anywhere, right? Okay, fine. But I really love tonfa
Oh, nice.
because it's just a badass weapon. I mean, that's why the cops carry them, right? You can jab with them, you can block with them, you can strike with them, you can hook with them. It just feels like such an extension of your arm and your fist that it just would do so much damage. So nunchucks for fun, bow is more practical, but the tonfa is oof, it's dirty.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it. All right. Next question. If there's anyone that you could train with, living or dead, fictional or non-fictional, who would that be?
Well, obviously, I'm blessed that I get to train with Bill Superfoot Wallace, so that's a given. Um, I would love to train with probably Boss Rutan. He's a
Oh,
friend of
nice.
mine, but we've never trained together. So I want to actually train with him one day, even if I had one day with him, because I think Boss, and just being around him, he's the baddest dude ever. And I've been around him a few times, and each time I'm around Boss, you can just feel like he could just break you in half. There's something about him, and I really want to train with him. He obviously teaches and trains, and he's very active. Um, but I would want to train with him just for the nastiness of what he does. Whereas Bill Super Wallace, yeah, I get to train with him, and I'm one of his black belts, and it's beautiful. It. No one is more perfected as a karate kickboxer than Bill Wallace, and no one's faster, right? But Boss is kind of the opposite of that. He's just he's just going to break you. And I would love to not be on the receiving end of that, but just to train with him for a little bit. So, boss, we need to hook that up.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, no, that's very well said, and I totally get it. There's definitely people I've been around that, yeah, I wouldn't want to tangle with them, but I would certainly like to get some of that fighter's dust on me to toughen me up a little bit. So I like that. All right. So then the final question there is, what is something that either always motivates you to train, and or what is something that you would like to give out to the listeners as a motivational thing to get them to train. Now, I always frame this question, and you're the perfect person to have this question on in that I use the example of Rocky IV, the training montage, running in the snow, chopping the wood, Hearts on Fire's playing. Like, I see every time I see that scene, I'm ready to get out there and into the studio and get on the mats, and I'm ready to train. So what is something that either always motivates you, or something that you would like to put out there as a motivation for others to train?
Well, and I'm right there with you. I can't tell you how many times I've trained with that soundtrack, in my ears. So 100%. I've got a story about that after I answer, if you would like to hear it.
Oh, of course, of course.
Um, so, man, probably just like, Bruce Lee used to say it's all about expressing oneself, is the beauty of his martial art. Um, for me, it's like that's part of it, but I guess it's just like the essence of life that it brings. Like I feel alive when I'm training. Um, in other words, like if I don't train, I get depressed. I don't mean like clinically depressed. I just mean like I'm down. But when I'm training, there's so much life essence. My whole attitude changes and my outlook changes. So is it like a drug? Maybe. Why do weightlifters lift weights? They probably get it's like a drug to them. For me, martial arts, it's just like drinking water and breathing and eating a good meal. I have to have it and I need it. And I think that for anyone that maybe hasn't trained or is thinking about it or hasn't done it in a while, whatever, just remember that essence of life that it brings to you. You are, to what Bruce Lee said, expressing yourself, but you're also living. Like martial arts is living. And I never feel more alive than when I'm training.
Very nice. Yeah. Well said. I agree. I agree. I'm just in, even though I train in so many martial arts, obviously I can't make it to every class, and yeah, I miss a few classes or something. You You feel it. You feel that depression. You feel that downness. You feel that ache, and you want to get back out there. So I like that. I like that. All right.
I'll
Oh
tell you that story real
oh
quick.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes,
I
yes.
don't
Let's
want the
go.
listeners to go, wait, he was going to say something and he didn't say it. So, little tidbit. So I broke my foot about 5 years ago. Actually, my heel, my calcaneus. I fell off of a ladder and broke my foot. So I was out, and I was actually editing for Sylvester Stallone at the moment. I was editing a documentary for him called "The Making of Rocky versus Drago." It's a documentary, you can find it on YouTube, where he's in the editing room recutting Rocky 4. So he hired me to edit it. So I broke my foot. My leg is atrophied. Like, I'm depressed. I'm gaining weight. Like, I can't move, and all I'm doing is editing. And so when I started like building my strength back and going from not being able to walk to the scooter to the boot that they put on you, I started like training. Well, I lived in the country at the time on the lake, and I had this tree that fell down, and I had to cut it up with a chainsaw. Well, I had all these logs, and I needed to do a big fire to burn them all. And so, but I had this bum foot, so I'm building my strength. And so, someone took a video of me as I'm tossing these logs into the fire. And I mean, I'm just tossing and tossing these giant logs. Well, I sent it to Sly and I said, "Look familiar?" Because in that montage in Rocky 4, if you remember, he's tossing the firewood or whatever that he's cut.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No. And so I basically was mimicking that and throwing it. And I think he said something like, "It's a lot harder than what it looks, isn't it?" Or something like that. Because he knew immediately what I was doing. And I always thought that was kind of funny. Like, he was making a movie, but I was actually trying to get back in shape,
hmm
tossing actual logs into a fire. So I always thought that one was kind of funny. A little bit of a name drop, but hey, I'm on a
Hey,
podcast. I got to
hey.
tell stories.
Oh no, I love it. I was just kind of thinking about the. uh, I mean, one, how cool is it to just be like, hey, it was Sly that I'm chatting with, or getting a call from Sly, just to be able to, you're talking about like Robert De Niro. It's like, oh yeah, me and Bobby just. How cool is it to have that moment? But yeah, no, I totally get the name drop. As we've been kind of talking. I'm just like, okay, well, who have I had? I mean, I was gonna say it earlier, so I'm gonna say it now. When you were talking about the Bloodsport soundtrack, I also have that on repeat as of lately, and was also quite happy to. I had Paul Hertzog on as a guest, and so he did the music for Bloodsport and Kickboxer, and so I was excited for that. But yeah, I was thinking about, oh yeah, who are all these people that I've talked to that I could name drop, and this that's so yeah, no,
Hey, that's a good
let
one.
those names drop. So
Absolutely, man. His soundtrack, it was just a revolution. I mean, a revelation. Sorry, it was just a revelation. It was like, what is this? It's so good, and you take it for granted as a kid, and now that we're adults, we're like, this is magical. Like,
oh yeah,
it's so good. And then you watch every video game that came out after that,
oh yeah,
and they're literally copying the
oh yeah,
Bloodsport soundtrack. So
oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure, for sure.
that's a good name drop. I got to go back and listen to that one.
I like it. I like it. All right. So we are at our final bit of the show here as we wrap up, and that is shameless self promotion. So you can plug anything that you'd like, or if there's anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to make sure we got out tonight, you have the floor, and then we'll close out from there.
Not at the moment. I just had a documentary come out, premiered, but it's not out yet, called Mr. Magnetic. It's a little shift from what I normally do, but it's about the making of a jazz album. So hopefully it comes out for everyone in 2026. Um, but I don't really have anything right now to plug. I would say if you want to get in touch with me, Instagram is a good place, or Facebook. Easy to find. Just make sure you know I'm not The Rock. I'm not Dwayne Johnson. It's Eric Wayne Johnson. But yeah, nothing really to plug at the moment because I usually try to save my plugs for when I know something is out for people to watch, and I'm just in that limbo stage where nothing's out at the moment.
Yeah, I hear you. I like it. Well, I will throw another recommendation for King of the Underdogs. I actually was intending to watch it again before we talk, but I'm gonna get it queued up after this, so so I
Well,
can
I
watch it
appreciate
again, and
that.
then I definitely need to watch the Rocky one as well. So,
Well, and then if I will add to it, then I'll promote some older stuff. So Stallone Frank, that's streaming on Prime, about Sylvester's brother Frank. Of course, 40 Years of Rocky, King of the Underdogs. And then do check out the making of Rocky versus Drago. That's free on YouTube. That's out there. So maybe they're older in my catalog, but I'm sure your guests, if they're listening to a martial arts podcast, would probably get a kick out of those.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I love actually. I only just recently saw Rocky versus Drago for the first time. I don't know. I guess probably about a month ago. So yeah, I'll definitely check out the doc as well. So yeah, that's going to be our time for today. I thank you so much for taking the time to be on and sharing your story, and we'll definitely have to get back on, have you back on, and get more into the weeds, especially about movie stuff, martial arts movie stuff. I've kind of wanted to to stick more of that sort of thing into the show, but I don't know, things kind of go off the rails pretty quick. So I don't know. We'll
Anytime
see.
you want to chat about martial arts movies, I'm your man.
But yeah, we'll definitely have to do that. Maybe we'll do a special bonus episode and just nerd out on movies. But yeah, once again, I thank you for being on, and I can't wait to get this out for the listeners to hear. And I just thank you so much for being on and sharing your story.
Well, I thank you, and keep training because you're doing a heck of a job.
All right, thank you. Thank you for listening to My Empty Hands. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with a friend. If you didn't enjoy it, please share it with an enemy. If you'd like to be a guest, or if you would like to recommend a guest for the show, please email me at podcast@talkingkempo.com. Thank you.